And I'm Sharonda.
And this is Until Forever. It's a relationship podcast. We don't claim to be experts or gurus. We just want to help you. We just want to pray for you. And we just want you to help us.
That's the one.
And pray for us. What you mean?
You never said we just want to pray for you and you pray for us.
Well, because the way you've been acting, I feel like we need to add that in
No,
there.
you didn't.
I feel like I need to. Y'all see me blinking?
You can blink yourself out of here then.
You see, that's what I'm talking about. One thing, she ready to just kick me smooth out the...
Oh, my goodness.
I'm playing.
Okay.
We always need prayer. Everybody needs prayer. All of us, we all need prayer. And for those of you who are listening on a podcast platform like Apple Music or Spotify, please understand that I'm blinking very fast right now.
Okay, so you're on the hot seat, sir, because you didn't finish.
I'm on the hot seat because I didn't finish last week. Okay, so what did we talk about last week since you want to...
Expectations.
What kind of expectations?
For marriage.
Okay, for who?
For each other.
Do you want to review some of what you said about me?
No.
Oh, okay.
You could go back and watch the last episode.
Oh, you could, and then you could give the cliff notes now.
Last week
they
on
may be
Until
interested.
Forever.
Okay.
Is that what you want?
Go for it.
Last week on Until Forever, Corey and Sharonda shared their expectations for marriage before they were married and now. Let's jump back in where Corey left off, and he didn't share his expectations for now.
But Sharonda did, and here's a few of hers.
No, you're gasping for time, sir.
See, I'm what?
Gasping for time.
Gasping for time?
I said what I said, and I'm standing by it.
I ain't never heard that. Y'all heard that before?
It doesn't matter. I said it.
Oh, she on one. She on one. So I expect her to not be on one. That's number one. That's number one. Okay, so I did touch a little bit on my expectations before marriage. We talked about how I kind of expected Stepford wife, kind of, but not really.
It's funny because when I used to say that, you like, that's not it.
Because it's not. It's not what I was on. Because that was extreme, and you would take it extreme. I would be like, "Can you just fix my plate, please?" And you want Stepford wife? You want Stepford wife? Just a second, honey. Let me go put on a maid's uniform. I'll be right back. Oh, is that going to be okay with you? If it just takes me 30 seconds, I can go real fast. Yes, sir, master. And you used to
I didn't do that.
Okay, she didn't say the yes, sir, master. But she definitely would
pushed the Stepford wife. So.
But I really understood why. Because if you listened last week, you would hear how her dad did a lot of chores around the house. And that's not to take away from him. He's an incredible person. But that was very different than what I was used to growing up seeing. So I'm sure that it was like a big shock for her when I was like, dishes? What you mean dishes? Like it was just different. So yeah, those expectations were definitely there before marriage. Now that there's a full understanding of who I married, and what I've gotten into, which, by the way, some of the stuff you did do before we got married, I just want to put that out there.
Why do you think I did it before we got married?
So that we would get married.
Oh.
You tricked me. You put me in the trick bag.
And then we had children. So it kind of took attention away from you.
But see, I thought that women it's like they evolve. If you, my son loves Pokemon, and when you get a Pokemon, it can only do so much in the beginning. But the more it goes through, I'm preaching already.
You're not,
the more it goes, that's kind of hard. That's kind of hard, Saints. The more you go through, the stronger you get.
This doesn't apply to a wife.
It do kind of because
and a mother.
But listen, here's the word.
You trying to say that I should be able to do for you and the kids?
I'm just saying, at some point you evolve. That's the word. Pokemon goes through.
You're right. At some point, I'm gonna evolve to everybody being able to fix their plate.
And evolution. You get stronger. You get better. So I expected her to grow arms and eyes and hands, and be able to do for all of us, not just one person or two. You know, that's just what my expectation was in the beginning. In the beginning,
just that was.
But yeah, I definitely got a rude awakening because, as we mentioned before, times are very different now. I have a very hardworking wife. When we got married, how long were we married before you started the magazine?
4 years.
4 years?
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing before that?
Working.
Okay.
I was writing for a different magazine.
You were writing. That's what I
After
was
1 year.
That's where I was. Okay, so I mixed that up. I equated her writing into starting her own. She started writing first. She wrote for a magazine that your aunt had,
My cousin.
your cousin had, and then she moves from that to having her own magazine. And I watched her.
Oh, and I hosted a internet radio show.
Yes, you did. And
co-hosted
with Winfred's.
No,
not yet.
With my same cousin at the magazine.
You're right. But here's that word. You did what?
Co-hosted. I evolved.
Wow.
Oh.
But you can't fix my plate.
No.
Boy, I tell you
not all the
what,
time. No, I can't.
I'll tell you what. So we, so yeah. So I watched her become this I don't know, this
Gosh,
woman.
I forgot I did those things.
This woman who not only was doing her best to be my wife and meet the needs that I have, but was also branching out and becoming so much more than just someone who works at 8 to 5. She was also working jobs she didn't like. There's a stress, I don't care what nobody say, that becomes stressful because you have to make yourself care about stuff you don't care nothing about. And that in itself says a lot that you were able to do that. Come home, be a wife, eventually become a mother, and still have to deal with the stuff that I was putting against you, those expectations. So just like you evolved as a woman and as a wife and as a mother, I had an evolution in my expectations for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a nice shirt going.
Okay, that was weird. So one of those things is that I expect her to have an immense amount of faith. I do.
What does immense mean?
Bigger than what it is currently. Bigger than what it is. Because we talking about, so you told me, what's that you said about me? You try to hurt my feelings. You said that I don't do what?
You're gasping for time.
No.
That's what
I'm talking about before when you gave me the expectations you have for me. I said, well, am I meeting them? And you said, no, not really.
I said some of them.
Oh, okay. Well, what I heard was, that's what I heard. You said some, but in my spirit it was like, and then I was crushed. So anyway, so yeah, my one of the things that have evolved and that I can now say counts as an expectation for you is for your faith to increase. Here's why. I'm a firm believer that if I'm believing God for something,
mm-hmm.
that we both have to be believing God for the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just an expectation I have.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that expectation?
I feel like sometimes you put pressure on me. And my faith may not be where yours is for certain things.
Why?
Why? What?
Why?
Oh my gosh.
Why? And that's what I like to do. That I like to be like, but look at what all God has done for you.
I'm not saying I don't believe. I'm saying that my faith isn't where yours is.
I think imagination and faith go.
Everyone has their own measure of faith. It's in the Bible.
Okay, you may not have a lot, but what?
I have a measure.
No, you put. Oh God. I expect you to rhyme. You may not have a lot, but
what I got.
Oh, that's terrible. You may not have a lot, but use what you got.
Oh.
Use what. Oh, you knew what I was.
No, I didn't.
Try to give me a hard. I don't expect for you to give me a hard time. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I do, and I have a crazy level of expectation on my wife to be great. And that I understand that does come with a certain level of stress. I always talk about her big. if someone, and those of you who have ever heard me describe my wife or asked me how she's doing, or asked if you know her and you're asking me who she is or whatever, you can attest to this. I brag big on my wife. I really did. I talk to her. I talk about her as if, like, you would think she was like a multi-millionaire with billions of dollars in the bank and all of these crazy ideas that she's just working and she don't get no sleep, but for some reason is always refreshed and energized and ready to go, because that's just how I see her. So when it comes to, and this, we're really sliding into something that would be really good to talk about, because when it comes, let me laugh at me, I'll be doing that, I'm sorry. But because when it comes to the expectations that we have for other people, we can literally stress them out by the level of expectation we have for them. And I gotta watch myself when it comes to that, because I do. I'll walk in the room and it'll be stuff that need to be done, and she'll be sitting there on her knees on the phone, and I'm like, what are you doing? What's happening right now? And she'll say something like, well, I'm just on social media, or I'm working on this post, I'm working on this, working on that. And in my head, she should have already had it done, and this other stuff that's around here. And I'm not saying, wow, that sounded bad. I'm not saying that she has to be on that level. I'm just saying that's how I think of her. I think of her as a superwoman. So because my expectation of her is so high, and the reality of what she can actually do is lower than what my expectation is, sometimes it messes me up, and I got to get to where there's some sort of synchronization there, and I'm not stressing her. What do you think about that?
I would agree.
Oh, okay. You're a woman of many words. I know that. She would agree is what she says. You would really? Mm-hmm. Do you think I do that a lot?
I do. I probably do that to you too, though.
Yeah, but when you do it, you're more critical than I am, I think.
Verbally out loud to you, yes, but when you do it to me, I'm critical of myself.
That's so true. That's so true. Wow, that's so true. She will sit in silence, and while I think she's just sitting there, she's literally bashing herself because she's thinking of all the stuff that she did or could have done, or wishing she did a different way, or would have changed, or would have done differently, or I ain't gonna do it like that no more, or now I'm gonna do it like this. And when she gets there and gets down on herself, I feel like I did something wrong, or I feel like now she mad at me or whatever, but really she's just being real hard on herself. But the thing is, when I try to come at her, then it's like, nope, I got this to do, I got that to do, I got to move out of my way. And now I feel like the direct result of what needs to be done is now being bashed over my head like it's my fault. But it's not my fault.
I mean, you live here, so you're contributing.
I think I contribute well, though.
Okay.
So what do you think about my expectations of you so far? Do you think they're fair?
What expectations have you shared? To have immense faith, and what else?
And to be
think
great.
You're making these up as
to
you
be
go
great.
along.
No, I'm not. These are really my expectations. Okay. To be great. Now this one is gonna be a little more cut and dry right there.
Mm-hmm.
I expect emotional support from you.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I don't always get it. It's way better than it's been in the past. It's way better than in the past. And I think that's because, first of all, why do you think that is?
That it's way better, or that you don't get it?
Both. I like both. I like both.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Sound like what's that movie with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Oh, Lord.
And he's the football person.
Oh, that's terrible.
And he was the pie, and he was like, I like both.
Oh.
That's just that part. I like both.
What's the name of that movie?
So Rudy.
No. Rudy is the Notre Dame movie.
Yeah. He's like a special needs person, and the coach takes him out to the diner, and he says, would you like some pie? No. And they say, which pie do you want? And he said, I like both.
It's not Rudy.
Okay. Anyway, so emotional support. I would say because I'm not a highly emotional person, like I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve, that like I always have this guard up emotionally for anybody. So I feel like man up, like just, just take it.
Dang. First of all, ladies,
suck it up and keep going.
ladies, please, there are a few things that you can never say to your man. One of them is just take it. Please don't ever say that to your man.
Oh, God.
Please don't listen. Just take it. Please, please don't say that. I understand, man up. I get that. I can feel that. You better figure out a better way to say it, though. Don't be.
That's how it came out. That's very raw.
Okay.
But I can understand also how that's not a good thing because I'm not allowing you space for mental and emotional help or the space to express yourself mentally and emotionally.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, because here's the thing. First of all, Cuba Gooding Jr., his name was Rudy in the movie. But Rudy is a movie
Radio
about Notre Dame that came out in 93.
Sorry.
Radio came out in 2003. So we were both right because you were right about his name. You were wrong
about the title of the movie. Radio.
Glory.
It's a very good movie, by the way.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's good.
All right, so I want both. so here's the what was I saying? You messed me all the way up.
Emotional support.
Yeah, but you said something, and I was like, but here's the thing.
I said just man up.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. Men, I'm always every episode I'm gonna say something sexist. I don't care how you feel about it. It's just what it is. Listen, men have sensitive sides.
Mm-hmm.
We have sensitivities. Now it's not.
I made up gasp, but you said
it's not. I'm just trying to help you. It's not. We ain't walking around here sensitive, but we do have a level of sensitivity about us that we will only show and only be vulnerable around whoever our heart belongs to. So that's why. Rub my leg. So that's why.
That's my leg to rub.
Okay, I'm gonna press pause. So that's why. That's why fellas have such a tight connection with their moms, because their moms represents a level of vulnerability that they're allowed to be soft around. Everywhere else in society, it requires us to man up and just take it. It requires us to be men. It really does. But we need emotional support from time to time. If I've had to be a manly man all day when I come home, sometimes I don't want to be a manly man at home. I want to lay down on your bosoms and just be able to be there emotionally. I think the conflict happens when I'm wanting to be there like that, but you have all of these things that need to be done. So the actual comfort, the actual emotional support gets pushed to the back burner until all of these other responsibilities are done. And I think that's just how we prioritize. You see the things that need to be done. I see what I need mentally and emotionally because I've had to be this for all day. I'm not saying that don't happen with women, especially black women. Because I feel like y'all have to not only show up at work, but you got to show up and be great and fight the stigma of angry black women everywhere you go. You gotta be punctual and you gotta articulate. You gotta say all your words right. You can't make it even look like you don't know what you're talking about. You gotta prove what you're saying, and you got it has to be hard for black women too. I get that, I really do. But this ain't about y'all. I'm talking about me and what I need, and I need that emotional support. What do you think?
Well, if we circle back to what you were saying about like support from your mothers,
Circle, girl.
then I would have to say I can see that, because when you come down on Caleb, like I'm always like trying to soften the blow and let him cry and let him. I want him to understand it's okay for him to express the emotions that he has to a certain extent, because sometimes he takes it too far.
Mm-hmm.
But then it kind of makes me feel like, oh, I don't do that for you. I'm always like, okay, well, what do you want to happen? Okay, well, what do you want to come out of this? Or stop complaining about it if you're not going to do anything to actually do something about it. And that's pretty much how I do myself, but I can't do you like that. So I do understand. But I would agree that I am way better than when I was 11 years ago.
You want to toot your horn? No, you are. And a lot of times with men, emotional support comes in the form of sex. Just want to put that out there. It's just what it is. Go ahead and breathe hard. I get it. You can breathe if you want to breathe, but it's the truth anyhow. And I think our viewers would agree.
Okay.
I guess you disagree.
Moving on.
Oh, I'm gonna get you one day.
Okay.
You're gonna be ready. Okay, so I think that's it. I think those are my expectations of you. Emotional support. I expect you to be great. And the other one that I just can't remember all of a sudden. What was it?
Immense face.
Immense faith.
It lets me know you just came up with that on the whim, because you're like,
no. The faith one was real.
It.
No,
the faith one
was real. The faith one was real. You added the immense.
You said immense.
I did.
Let us rewind the tape.
I said immense, but I'm.
You said I want you to have immense faith.
I'm happy. I'm happy with you utilizing the faith you got. I just don't like when I feel like I'm in the faith thing by myself.
No. You be way off in Neverland, Faithland. And I'm down here like, we just stay right here and just journey up the mountain a little bit.
Okay. So to put that in context, I'd be like, we buying land and building a house from the ground up. And she'd be like...
No, you'd be like, we handling 50 accounts. We handling 50 marketing accounts.
Yep.
And we building houses from the ground up. We buying a whole neighborhood and all our family gonna live there. Yep. And I'd be like, I'd just like to buy a few acres and build a nice house. No, you way lower.
You'd be like, I just want to go buy bread from the store.
That's not true.
I'd be like, dang.
I'd be like, that's a good dream.
That's all you believe God for is the bread?
But if we could just get through today.
Man, okay. Whatever you say, love. I'm honestly, when it comes to expectations, mine have changed dramatically. And I feel like that change was necessary for growth and for us to be able to get to where we are today. And I think that's fair to say. And I'm saying that because I feel that expectations should waver. They should change. These are the expectations for now, but we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Definitely.
They have to grow. Or sometimes they have to
change. They have to change. Life changes. You know, my expectations will totally be different when we're empty nesters, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can't expect you to run if you ain't got no legs.
Why would you say that?
I'm just saying, that's just the level.
Oh my gosh.
That's just...
You said I don't have legs.
No.
You don't want me to have legs?
That's not what I was... Let me think about it. No, I don't want you... I want you to have them. You keep them. I don't want them to go nowhere. I'm just saying, that was... Yeah, you keep your legs. I like her legs a lot, honestly. That's what, you remember last week I kept touching your thigh? You remember that? I'm just saying, if we go through something, let's say we go through something, you know, that has been very detrimental to you emotionally. Mm-hmm. God forbid, we don't want anything to happen to anybody at all. But if you happen to go through something, then my expectations cannot be the same. I'll be extremely disappointed, which would cause friction in our marriage, which would then cause me to just walk around here and be upset because the stuff that I'm expecting from you ain't happening. But it ain't happening because you just can't be expected to perform at that level emotionally or mentally right now because of the stuff that you're going through. So what's important is that in your relationship, you have that fluidity.
No.
I said it, but I also
I saw.
I could praise that.
Oh.
You have that fluidity in your marriage, and that you are completely in tune, so that you know what you can handle and what you can't at that moment. I know when I can fuss at Sharonda. I'm just being honest. I know when I can fuss at her. I know when I can't. And when I can't, I come upstairs and I play the video game, because there are times when there's stuff that I want to address, but I know if I address it, that'll be her breaking point and she'll shut down. And I don't want that. I don't want her shutting down. And when she shuts down, that's when she starts beating herself up. And I don't want that. So I just play the game. Or fold clothes. I think I'm pretty good at folding clothes. I'm getting good at that. Matching the socks. She don't fold socks. Why y'all do that? Is that you?
It's the last thing that needs to be done.
No.
So I put the socks to the side.
Listen,
and sort out everything else.
At one point, our basket about that time, right? At one point, there was so many socks in the basket that it was only this much room to put clean clothes in. The rest of it was just millions and millions of socks.
Wasn't millions of socks.
And the matches was just, they was all looking at each other. One was over there looking, you see me? I see you. You see me? She could just put us together. We'd be all right. I know, but we just going to sit here and look at each other. I guess we just going to look at you. I'm telling you, man, them socks, but you got
like the most minuscule thing to do. If people already have socks in their drawer, then what's the point?
Nobody knows. Every morning.
I didn't have the time. It was best to get the clothes distributed and get socks later while I'm watching a movie, which I didn't have time to do.
Every morning, it was 3 kids at the door knocking. We need socks. We need socks. We need socks. Well, I tell you, we should have played a game. That's how we gonna fold socks. That's how we gonna fold socks.
Please don't.
We just gonna give each kid a sock.
The matching game.
Yeah, match the sock. Whoever get the most matches.
I need to see the match before they're rolled together.
Gets to stay. That's what.
Excuse me? Why would you say that?
Y'all need to start scaring your kids. Watch how they act right. You want dinner?
He doesn't mean it.
If you want dinner, you gonna.
Okay, this is recorded.
I'm sorry. I'm a mandated reporter. We doing right. Okay. Well, you all have a wonderful evening. This was great. I enjoyed doing these expectations because I think in these past 2 episodes, correct me if I'm wrong, it kind of opened us up to some things that we were able to remind each other of. I think. What do you think?
I think so too.
Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, well, can I rub your thigh?
What's in the episode?
First, is that what you said?
Yes.
But you didn't say it.
Okay.
I want them to know.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Until Forever. See you guys next week.
I expect you to make people think that you think I'm sexy.
I do think you're sexy.
So then you're supposed to be like, in the episode first. And then you got to do your eyes like that. Wait. I thought you were going to be blowing. They're going to be blowing your eye. Y'all, that's how COVID started. Y'all was blowing the people out.